Hey, BookTube Sean here. I'm back from New England. I got back Monday night, and I have books to show you. So this is going to be a two-part book haul. First part is going to be the books I got in New England and in the day or two surrounding leaving and coming back from New England. And the second part is going to be the books that I got at a library book sale the day before I left. So there's going to be 10 books in this video and 9 books in the library book sale haul video, which will be part 2 of the book haul, which I'll post in another day or two. So let's get into it. First book I picked up is Meet Your Baker by Ellie Alexander. I saw this on Cortagonist's channel. She really loves this cozy mystery series. This is the Bake Shop mystery series. And it is about Juliet Capshaw, who returns to her home bakery in Ashland, Oregon, to help out. And as in cozy mystery style, a murder occurs, and she has to try and figure out who the real culprit is. Second book I picked up was a pre-order I had done of The Blood Print by Osma Zahanat Khan. This is a new fantasy book. I saw this on Thomas at SFF 180's channel. He got it in one of his Mailbag Mondays, and I'm just going to read the back for you because that's what got me interested in the book, was him reading the back of the book. It sounded really cool, so that's what I'm going to do for you. A dark power called the Talisman, born of ignorance and persecution, has arisen in the land. Led by a man known only as the One-Eyed Preacher, it is a cruel and terrifying movement bent on world domination, a superstitious patriarchy that suppresses knowledge and subjugates women, and it is growing. But there are those who fight the Talisman's spread, including the Companions of Hera, a diverse group of influential women whose power derives from the claim that magic inherent in the words of a sacred scripture. Foremost among them is Arian and her fellow warrior Cinia, skilled fighters who are knowledgeable in the claim. This daring pair have long stalked Talisman slave chains, searching for clues and weapons to help them battle their enemies' oppressive ways. Now they may have discovered a miraculous symbol of hope that can destroy the One-Eyed Preacher and his fervid followers. The Blood Print, a dangerous text the Talisman has tried to erase from the world. Finding the Blood Print promises to be their most dangerous undertaking yet, an arduous journey that will lead them deep into Talisman territory. Though they will be helped by allies, a loyal boy they freed from slavery and a man that used to be both Arian's confidant and swordmaster, Arian and Cinia know that this mission may well be their last. When Thomas read that, it just really intrigued me, and I pre-ordered it before his video was even ordered, or before his video was even done, not ordered. He didn't order the video. Next stack, for the most part, except for one, is books I got in New England. One of the first things we did in New England is we went to Providence, Rhode Island, and we went and visited H.P. Lovecraft's gravesite. I think I posted a picture on Twitter of his headstone and his family's monument. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, follow me on Twitter, and you can go and see some of the pictures and videos I posted from the trip. But just down the street from his gravesite was an indie bookshop, and I was able to pick up a copy of H.P. Lovecraft's Cthulhu Mythos Tales in the Word Cloud Classics editions, which I love these editions. So I was really happy to be able to buy the Cthulhu Mythos Tales just down the street from his grave. I thought that was really cool. The next book is also a Word Cloud Classics edition. Now, I didn't buy this in New England, but it was the trip that inspired me to buy it. We went to this whaling museum that was all about the history of whaling in New Bedford, Massachusetts, and it just had artifacts and stuff from the history of whaling, and they even had this half-scale whaling ship that was really cool. And all over the place they had quotes from Moby Dick, and it made me really interested to read Moby Dick because I've never read the whole Moby Dick. I had this Illustrated Classics edition when I was a kid that was like super abridged version. I read that a bunch, but I've never read the complete unabridged Moby Dick. And I just noticed there's some artwork in here. Is there artwork in this one? Not really. Okay, sorry about that. But they had several copies of Moby Dick in the gift shop, but they did not have the Word Cloud Classics edition, and that's the edition I wanted. So, kind of standing there in the gift shop, I ordered it off of Amazon. So that is, and this is the artwork I had just noticed that I didn't notice when I unpacked the book from the shipment. So that's cool. Is there anything on the back? Same thing. Okay. So yeah, it got me, the trip to the Whaling Museum got me really interested to read Moby Dick. Next book I got was, we went and toured some of the mansions in Newport, Rhode Island, including the Vanderbilt's mansion, the Breakers. And in the gift shop at the Rosecliff Mansion, I saw this book as a historical fiction novel called Newport by Jill Morrow. And it's, I'll just read the back. Spring 1921. The Great War is over. Prohibition is in full swing. The Great Depression is still years away. Wealthy families flock to the glittering summer cottages they built in Newport, Rhode Island, which that summer cottages in quotes, and it just really means the mansions in Newport, New England, Newport, Rhode Island, which are fantastic. If you ever get a chance to go do some of the mansion tours, their self-guided tours are really interesting. Having sheltered in Newport during his misspent youth, attorney Adrien de Lannoy is no stranger to the city. Though he'd prefer to forget the place, he returns to revise the will of a well-heeled client. Bennett Chapman's offspring have the usual concerns about their father's much younger fiancée, but when they learn of the old widower's firm belief that his late first wife, who communicates via seance, has chosen the stunning Catherine Walsh for him, they're shocked. And for Adrian, encountering Catherine in the last place he saw her decades ago proves to be a far greater surprise. Adrian is here to handle a will, and he intends to do so just as soon as he unearths every last secret about the Chapmans, Catherine Walsh, and his own very fraught history. Vividly bringing to life the glitzy era of the 1920s, Newport is a skillful alchemy of social satire, dark humor, and finely drawn characters. So it was the seance aspect of this, and you guys know, if you've been following my channel, that I'm a sucker for 1920s historical fiction. So this just sounded really cool, and to be able to buy it in the gift shop of one of the mansions in Newport, I thought was just really cool. And in those gift shops, I also got a couple really cool bookmarks. I got these leather bookmarks. The Rosecliff Mansion, that's the first one we toured, and then the Breakers is the old Vanderbilt Mansion. So that one was really, really cool. And these bookmarks are nice. And if we ever get to go back, there's I think 5 mansions you can tour. So I think 5 or 6 mansions. So we got 3 or 4 more that we can still tour that we haven't been to. And so if we ever go back, I'm just going to collect the bookmarks from each of them, because it looks like they have that. We went to Salem, and I will say this about Salem. I was slightly disappointed. I thought it'd be really cool to go to Salem in October, and apparently a lot of people think it's really cool to go to Salem. So it was just packed with tourists. And unfortunately, Salem has catered to that. And there is a lot of chintzy, cheesy, kitschy tourist trap things in Salem. There's not a lot of, at least we couldn't find it, and stuff of the real true history of Salem and the witch trials. We did go to a show where they do an arrest in the street, and then you follow them into the courthouse. And then, of course, if you've bought a ticket to the show, or you can buy a ticket as you're following him into the courthouse, you get to watch like the preliminary trial of the witch, and then you, as the audience, get to decide if she's going to go free or if she's going to stand trial for witchcraft. So that's cool. You get to ask you get to ask questions of all the witnesses and stuff, and the actors play multiple characters, play all the different witnesses and stuff. So that was really cool. My wife has a friend that she's known for like 8 years, and she actually just met her in person for the first time when we went. And she does Freedom Trail tours in Boston, and then she also works in Salem. And she had been an actress in this show in the past, so she told us to check that show out, and she also kind of guided us what to stay away from, what was the real tourist trap stuff, and what was cool to do, and what was a little bit more authentic. And one of the things she told us to do, and we actually heard it from a few other people to do, was to go and visit the House of the Seven Gables, which is made famous by Nathaniel Hawthorne's novel. So, and that was a really, really cool tour. Excuse me. So we toured the actual House of the Seven Gables that the book was inspired by. And they also had moved Nathaniel Hawthorne's birthplace, the house that he was born in, to that site years ago. So we got to walk through the house that Nathaniel Hawthorne was born in. So, and even in the gift shop at the House of the Seven Gables, most of the gift shop was kitschy witch touristy stuff. And the one section of the gift shop that had Nathaniel Hawthorne's novels and books about the actual Salem witch trials and the actual history of the town, I was the only person standing in that area. Everybody else was gone off into the kitschy touristy stuff. It was kind of sad to me that I was the only person standing in the history of the area section. But I thought what was really cool is I got a copy of the House of the Seven Gables at the House of the Seven Gables. And it's even got a stamp that says purchased at the House of the Seven Gables. So I thought that was really, really cool. So I'm kind of looking forward to reading this at some point. Excuse me. In Boston, we went to... I drug my wife to several bookstores. But one of the only ones I bought books at, besides the one where I got the H.P. Lovecraft book, is Brattle Bookshop, just down the street from Boston Commons. I'd actually heard Steve Donahue talk about Brattle Bookshop, and that's how I knew about it. And they have this whole outside section of carts and shelves of $1 to $5 books. So I picked up a couple of things there, and the first thing that caught my eye was this book, Shakespeare and the Countess, The Battle That Gave Birth to the Globe. This is a nonfiction book about Shakespeare's confrontation with Lady Elizabeth Russell, Dowager Countess of Bedford, and how that confrontation almost ruined Shakespeare's career. So, especially as an actor, that this book really spoke to me. So I had to pick this up, and it was $3. So I thought that was a really good find. And I also picked up for $3 P.G. Wodehouse, the Jeeves Omnibus Volume 2. And this has got the books Right Ho Jeeves, Join the Morning, and Carry On Jeeves. And these are the Jeeves and Wooster stories. If any of you are familiar with the Hugh Laurie, Stephen Fry British comedy, Jeeves and Wooster, they're based on these books. And the Harvard bookstore had in their downstairs used bookstore section had some of the other volumes. These are the UK omnibuses, and the Harvard bookstore had a lot of the other ones. But they were they wanted $10 a piece for them used. But this was $3, so I would like to collect these UK omnibuses of this. So I was glad to pick one up for cheap. And then the day I left, Book of the Month came in, And my book of the month pick this month was Manhattan Beach by Jennifer Egan. And the blurb is really short, so I'll just read that. Anna Kerrigan, nearly 12 years old, accompanies her father to visit Dexter Stiles, a man who she gleans is crucial to the survival of her family. She is mesmerized by the sea beyond the house and by some charged mystery between the two men. Years later, her father has disappeared and the country is at war. Anna works at the Brooklyn Naval Yard, where women are allowed to hold jobs that once belonged to men, now soldiers abroad. She becomes the first female diver, the most dangerous and exclusive of occupations, repairing the ships that will help America win the war. One evening at a nightclub, she meets Dexter Stiles again and begins to understand the complexity of her father's life, the reasons he might have vanished. With the atmosphere of a noir thriller, Jennifer Egan's first historical novel follows Anna and Stiles into a world populated by gangsters, sailors, divers, bankers, and union men. Manhattan Beach is a deft, dazzling, propulsive exploration of a transformative moment in the lives and identities of women and men, of America and the world. It's a magnificent novel by the author of A Visit from the Goon Squad, one of the great writers of our times. And this easily stood out to me as, no question, the book I was going to, my book of the month pick this month. There was really no contest. Once I read that description, that was the one I added to my box. And book of the month also has an extra. You could get Sleeping Beauties, Stephen King's new collaboration with his son Owen King. And this is about women who get cocooned, go into this like a cocoon-like gauze after they fall asleep. And apparently there's one woman who is immune to it. So I think it's about figuring out, it says, is Eve a medical anomaly to be studied, or is she a demon who must be slain? Abandoned, left to their increasingly primal urges, the men divide into warring factions, some wanting to kill Eve, some to save her. So all the women have gone into these cocoons except for Eve, and it's just the men left to survive. And I don't know. And we'll see. Stephen King can be hit or miss with me, but I am always interested to check out his stuff. So to be able to get that brand new for $10 from Book of the Month was, I thought, something I couldn't pass up. So that's it. That is part one of the book haul, and I will have part two up in a day or two. The books that I got at the library book sale, and yeah, we had a great time on our trip. I just explained some of the things that we did. We also went whale watching, which was super cool. I mean, I'll talk more about that in just a reading and life update video, which I'll be filming shortly. But yeah, so let me know if you've read any of those books, what you thought of them, if any of them sound good to you, or let me know what you're reading lately. It's been a few weeks and I haven't posted anything, so I haven't had any communication in my comments in a few weeks. So I look forward to hearing from you all. Please leave me a comment and just let me know what's up. Thank you to all my subscribers. I passed the 200 mark also while I was gone, or just before I left, I think. So thank you to everyone who has subscribed. Cortagonist gave me an awesome shout out, so thank you to her for that. And that's, I think, what helped push me over the 200 mark. So thank you to everyone who subscribed. Thank you to the new subscribers. Welcome to the channel. I hope you like what you've seen, and I hope you stick around. I will talk to you all later. See you all in my next video. I wish you all good reading.